Who was Jezebel in the Bible, and what did she do? Jezebel. Her name alone has traversed centuries, becoming synonymous with women who are seen as insidious and morally bankrupt. But what's the story behind this notorious figure from the ancient text? Jezebel was a Phoenician princess, the daughter of King Ethbal of the Sidonians. As if being royalty wasn't enough immersion in the deep end of societal drama, she married Ahab, king of Israel. In doing so, she became the queen, and fused her own narrative into the tumultuous history of the Israelites. Now, Jezebel wasn't just any queen. She was a fervent worshipper of the Canaanite god Baal, which put her at direct odds with the prevailing Hebrew faith that worshipped Yahweh. You can imagine the marital disputes that led to, "Honey, can you take down the altar to Baal in the backyard? It's upsetting the neighbors and the prophet Elijah." But Jezebel wasn't the type to relent. She had a zealous streak, advocating for the worship of her god, Baal, and opposing the prophets of Yahweh, especially Elijah. According to the Old Testament texts, she didn't just oppose them with well-crafted arguments, she actively sought to exterminate them. This led to a particularly chilling episode where she orchestrated the killing of Naboth, a man who refused to sell his vineyard to King Ahab, so that her husband could expand his palace grounds. Her notoriety is primarily captured in the books of Kings, I Kings 16, 22, and 2 Kings 9, and it's there we learn of her ultimate downfall. Jezebel met a grisly end as foretold by the prophet Elijah. She was defenestrated, thrown out of a window, and her body was left to be devoured by dogs. It's not exactly the kind of end you'd hope for, even for your worst enemy. So what did she do? In a nutshell, Jezebel actively propagated her own religious beliefs, clashed with the prophets, and partook in what the Bible depicts as heinous acts that led to her own undoing. She's been characterized as a villain for millennia, and her actions solidified her legacy as an icon of wickedness, a warning tale against the corrupting power of influence and immorality. Living in Portland, Oregon, one becomes accustomed to different beliefs coexisting relatively peacefully. You can find shrines to various deities in some neighbors' front gardens, and a vegan bakery next to a steakhouse. It's a modern mosaic of tolerance that kind of puts ancient feuds into perspective. Would Jezebel and Elijah have hated each other quite so much if they could have just gone for a peaceful hike in the gorge? Maybe a bit of Portland's tranquility could have done them some good.